Hey guys, insight number 2 here. I had a lot to say on the family proclamation this week. You see my book here? I had to literally edit a page to put stuff on because I wrote too much. It was just oh my gosh, I've got so much good stuff and these are going to take too long. But anyway, so let's look at paragraph 2 because my question here is, how does Satan weaken the family unit? Being that if you destroy a family, you don't just get one person, you get all of them. So that's, of course, a big focus of his, is to destroy the family unit. And how can he do that effectively? And it's usually through one person making a problem that then fractures the whole family. That's usually how it happens. But if you look at paragraph 2, it talks about all human beings, male and female, are created in the image of God. We are enough. We are eternal. We are a beloved spirit, son or daughter of heavenly parents, and we have divine nature and destiny. So we are that. So by telling us that we aren't enough, Satan will weaken us. And he'll tell us that we're not worthy, and we're never going to be. He'll have us read this proclamation and say, well, I'm not that. My family doesn't look like that. My family's a hot mess. Or my family's a really ugly mess. And it's never going to look like this. You know, when you're doing family history, and I'm doing family history, and I'm trying to match up not only same-sex couples, I'm trying to match up children who sort of belong by bloodline and kind of don't. Who do I sell them to? There's instances of even way back where, they didn't get married till after the children were born, and then they had to immigrate to New Zealand here to sort of get away from the controversy of that, because, back in those days, big problem. So there's all sorts of things in there, and my family is mixed. I have 2 stepfathers. One is deceased, one is still current. I have a foster brother who I never met that my dad brought up. I have a half brother, a half sister that are like a brother and sister to me, and then I have a step brother and 4 stepsisters. It is a blended hot mess. And most families you'll find have this. They're not that mum, dad, kids unit. And if you have that, good for you. And I'm really happy for you. But for most of us, it is a blend. And when we read this proclamation, Satan will tell us that we don't fit, that we don't belong in this, that it's not for us. And that's just so not right. Because we are beloved children of Heavenly Father, and by Satan telling us that we're not, he's going to start fracturing our family unit. And our family unit needs to be strong, because the world is harsh, and the family unit and our homes need to be that refuge and safe place to come. Even if they're not members of the church, even if they're not living the gospel standards that you set for yourself. Because quite honestly, the gospel standards I set for myself, I fail at all the time. And I'm okay with that. Heavenly Father's okay with that because I'm making an effort. My home is still a refuge. I am enough. I am a daughter of heavenly parents, and the proclamation does apply to me. Because I'm enough. And Satan can tell me totally that I'm not. And I'm going to say, shush, don't know what you're talking about. But he's going to make you feel that when you read this. He's going to niggle at those parts that don't sit well with family for you. Because family is a very emotional thing. Family is a hotbed of triggers and So if this happens for you when you're reading this week, remember that in paragraph 2, we are all spirit children of heavenly parents who love us, and we are enough, and he is with us, and that this proclamation is an ideal. It is not perfectionism. Don't fall for that. Okay, let's go on. Yeah, he's going to make us think that we don't fit into these perfect little tick boxes and that we don't belong. Remember, tick boxes don't exist with Jesus Christ. He just wants you to make an effort. There's no pass-fail. It's effort. Satan infiltrates our family members in their weak places, causing contention, separation, and abusive homes. Whatever, and I'm not talking, it could be verbal abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse. It could just be lack of boundaries abuse. There's all sorts of abuse. But we hold the power to tell Satan to go away and to not listen to him. So be strong and listen to Christ. Tell Satan to off. So Spencer W. Kimball, who is a big one about him, and David O. McKay spoke out, actually Thomas S. Monson did too, spoke out a lot about the home. I know this came from President Hinckley, this proclamation, but you can guarantee it wasn't just a spur of the moment, let's write it down. They really did look at this for a long time, much like that other declaration we just had recently about the restoration of the church. It is not something that just gets spat out. It is something that is really looked at and prophetically put down. But anyway, Spencer W. Kimball, he said, the evil one knows where to attack. He is going to attack the home. He is going to destroy the family. That's what he wants to do. Let us make up our minds that he will not do it to our families. So you just decide you're not going to do that in our family. Now, the other night, I'm stressing out about a few things. The other night, I snapped at Dave, my dear husband. I said to him, are you listening to me? I don't feel that you're listening to me. And I got a bit annoyed with some of his behaviors. And the things that shouldn't annoy me. But they only annoyed me because my level of anxiety was already super high. And I had to apologize to him because really it was nothing. He didn't do anything wrong. I was just already there. And I could feel that spirit of contention creeping in. And I'm like, no, you don't. You get out. I'm not going to be that way. That is not happening in my home. And I have decided that since I got taken out of home by our social services when I was a child. I said, whenever I get a home, that is not going to exist in my home. My home is going to be a place of peace and spiritually beautiful. And it took a while to get it and to learn how to do that because I had no idea how to do that. I had to learn how to do that. So that's why I really appreciated when this came out because this really helped me, this proclamation. So that's how I look at it. But yeah, he will attack your family because he knows he can get all of you. If he can get one of you in the family and weaken it, it's going to make a crack and cause contention for all of you. So just decide it's not going to happen with our family. We're not going to be that arguing, bickering, nasty family. You just decide that it's not going to be that way and you behave better. Doesn't mean you have to be like all over besties and like let's gather for, every single event. But it does mean that when you get together, you can behave civilly and Christ-like. That's what it means. All right. So, Satan does want to weaken the family unit. Don't let him do it. Listen to Jesus Christ instead. Okay, I will see you shortly for insight number 3. See you there.